Hello and welcome to Car Comparisons. The Germans have always been known for making premium and comfortable saloon cars, but every now and again they like to go a bit crazy and build some serious performance cars, things such as the C63 and BMW M3. But today we're looking at the cars that began those legends, the 190e Cosworth and the E30 M3. Both of these cars were designed with one thing in mind, winning touring car races. But which one is best? Firstly, let's go on to something that's completely opinionated, styling. Personally, I'm a fan of the way the M3 looks. I think it's got a quite nice side profile and shape, and is slightly sleepery too. It doesn't look too much like a performance car, apart from the white body flares, the badges, and the spoiler. And of course that exhaust too is a minor giveaway, but even then it still isn't that flashy. The wheels, they look a bit like BBS's, and I'm quite fond of that. And overall, I think it's just a very nice looking car. Personally, I'm weird like that. I quite like boxy cars that maybe the average person wouldn't call very attractive. On the other hand, the Mercedes is kind of weird. It looks like a luxury car that's trying to be a race car. It looks a bit like if you took a Rolls Royce and put a massive wing on it. To me, it just seems weird. These flares look like they've just been glued on randomly and have these weird sort of flowing lines that I can't quite get the camera low enough to show off properly. I don't know, to me it just looks a bit strange. The rear bumper sticks out a bit too much. I think this wing, well, I understand its use, not the large one, but the small one has a use. I believe it actually is, it actually moves around and is adjustable. I understand it's got a purpose, but to me, in styling terms, it looks a bit weird. The wheels, though, look quite nice at least, which is one positive. But yeah, just overall it seems a bit weird, looks a bit weird, has too much chrome, I think. But maybe that's just me. And yeah, personally, I think it looks just a little ridiculous. It looks like they've tried to turn a Rolls Royce into a DTM car, or, just an average family. Onto the specs now. On the left we have the 1991 BMW M3, and on the right we have the 1990 Mercedes 190e Cosworth Evolution 2. Note the Evolution because that's what gives the car the real advantage, since that's the homologation version that is there purely so they can have more aero package on the racing car. Because of this, it has, well, a much higher PI, as you can see, a 40 PI difference. There's also another 20 horsepower difference and 1 pound-foot of torque difference. I doubt that's going to make too much of a difference, but it's a difference nonetheless. Interestingly, the BMW is lighter and has a more balanced weight distribution, thanks to it being BMW and them being very fussy about the weight distribution of cars. Most of their cars will have a 50-50 weight distribution, or so they say, at least. Hopefully with this extra weight it can make up from the power loss, although I'm not too sure judging by that PI difference. Mind you, both the cars are rear wheel drive, so maybe it'll be alright and really balanced out then. As the Mercedes isn't all-wheel drive or anything that could give it any other advantage. Here we are now on the final part, a one-lap showdown around Hockenheim National Circuit. Well, I say one lap. Each car had 6 runs around the track. 3 of those the BMW crashed. 1 of those the Mercedes crashed, although that was my fault because I paused the game for a split second to turn up the volume on my TV while I was going around a corner. Anyway, stupid decisions from me aside, let's see how both of these do. So, they're both off, the BMW either getting a slightly better launch or just my bad syncing, I can't decide. It's slightly lighter and may have some slightly shorter gear ratios, so I won't be too surprised. BMW getting a much more aggressive line through there and is now off the screen. It did go off slightly, does still seem to be ahead. Ignore my slightly dodgy gear change in the background there. Braking, they both seem to be slightly, or very even. Mercedes locking up slightly and skidding again. Quite the opposite actually of how these cars handle, considering the Mercedes is very planted while the BMW is very difficult to drive at the limit, as the rear end can give away at any moment. The Mercedes is now ahead from the looks of it, only very slightly though, they're still very close. Mercedes locks up a bit and starts drifting, yes, very opposite. the BMW loses the back end for a split second there. Although they are still very even, they're practically side by side. The BMW, despite the massive gap in PI, is still right on them. Brilliant cameraman there. Using the badge on the Mercedes as a target to find the right line down the road there. The BMW does seem to be dropping behind there. Yes, quite dramatically actually. The Mercedes seems to be pulling ahead quite a bit. Although the BMW is still very close. A lot closer than you'd expect from such a PI gap. Mercedes again creating smoke. BMW cutting the track slightly there. A bit cheaty, but it'll have to do whatever it can to keep up with the Mercedes at this point, as it is starting to pull ahead massively. Around the final corner, or second to last corner there. Again, the Mercedes seems to be going fairly flat. The BMW braking suddenly. And, well, here we go now, the final straight. Who will appear first? It's the Mercedes. And the BMW follows slightly later. Finally, onto lap times. We know the Mercedes was faster, but just how much faster was it? Well, it's at a 1 minute 55.307 compared to the 1 minute 57.274 from the BMW. Almost 2 seconds faster, which is a pretty big gap for the price difference. It's for that reason that out of the two, the Cosworth is the better buy. Despite the fact that it's 10,000 credits more than the BMW, by the time you upgrade the BMW to be just as quick, that price gap will be smaller, and the M3 will still not be as consistent to drive. But anyway, money really isn't an object in Forza, but even so, I still think the Mercedes will always be the better buy. Anyway, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and until next video, goodbye.